Episode 126. That sounds right. Episode 126, Keeping It Real. I'm your guest, Kadis. Let's check that, actually. Want to make sure we got this right. Sorry. Hold on. Just checking. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 126 of Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Kadis, and this morning, we will chat. Just you and I. Me and you. You and me. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. What won't we talk about? I also don't know. It's, oh, man, I'm making this more of a thing, and it's getting really exhausting because of that, you know? It used to just be a 30-second clip, but I can't go back. It wasn't even 30 seconds. It used to be like a 5-second clip, but I can't go back. And it's hard to even explain to you why I can't go back, to be honest. And I think a lot of times, or at least what I think of right now, is a certain kind of setting where someone might be interested and want me to explain. I just wouldn't even know where to begin. I might even get frustrated. Like if someone really started poking and prodding at me, like they really wanted to know about this video stuff, I'd probably get frustrated after a while, because no one does that, right? Because like no one really cares. And I think that if it happened, I could see myself getting very frustrated, because I feel like it would get to this point where like no matter what I said, like I think even right now, obviously I realize like I don't think it would matter, you know, like what I say. Like this person is just never gonna get it, right? You know what I'm saying? But then again, maybe they do. I don't know. I did what was supposed to be the second episode of the Jackkadis show this morning, except one of the cameras was not turned on, so so instead I decided to upload it just to Spotify as audio only and call it a bonus episode. That's what I decided to do. And I think that's the right call. I think what's interesting about this new channel that I have is that I'm allowing myself to just upload whenever, instead of every single day. Yeah, it's just something cool to do, to experience. Man, oh man, keeping it real. Me and you and the camera. I'm definitely going to title this episode something like being open and honest. Or like, this is how I really feel. Or like, the truth comes out. Or like, I can't hold it in anymore. Some stuff like that. I think that'd be great. I feel like I've yet to break this pattern, or okay, this is what I think. I go to YouTube and I look at the analytics and the watch time and the this and the that, and it's pretty crazy stuff. And I think about it, and I think about like the videos. Sorry, I just like thought about too many things, you know. I forgot that I had to keep talking, and that I'm live on this show. It seems to me that it's like I'm noticing this thing that's happening, whereas I don't like the views don't happen unless like how do I explain this to you? One of my most watched videos ever contains, it's a 3-hour long podcast with an ex-girlfriend of mine and 2 of her friends. And so you can go figure why that might be one of the most watched videos, right? Because there are people that are interested in that sort of thing. And I never mentioned on the internet that she was, you know, or even during the show or anything, but like her name's in the title and she's in the video. And like, put it this way, I notice a big difference in viewership when, like, for whatever reason, you know, if for whatever reason I discover or learn that my mom doesn't watch a certain episode, or like it's my mom, my best friend Pete. I think for a while was listening. I don't think he is anymore. And I honestly feel like I noticed that in the analytics, and that's a big deal. Because when just one person watches one episode all the way through from start to finish, 1 hour, the algorithm, YouTube's computer, it recognizes that and it says, okay, well, if, you know, we showed the thumbnail and title to this many people and none of them watched it through, well, we're going to stop showing it to people, right? But then you have this person that searched it up and watched it all the way through. Well, okay, maybe we'll show it to a couple more people. And then maybe one of those like 1,000 of people that they showed the video to clicked on it because I thought the thumbnail was interesting. They never end up staying for the hour. I guess maybe sometimes they do. I've gotten a couple comments here and there. We had an episode lately that got like 8 hours of watch time and 100 views. And it must have just had a good hook or something. It's funny because it's like, I feel like to hold the attention, I have to be genuinely like super passionate about one particular topic and like really hook you at the very beginning, right? Like this video has a horrible hook. I start out very slow and then there's like this long pause. And this video will probably fall next to all the other ones this week. Like they just haven't, like they're not being grabbed by the algorithm. I feel kind of goofy saying the word algorithm, but that's I guess what it is. I don't understand it. You don't understand it. Nobody understands it. And I just wonder, am I making videos for the algorithm? I don't know. I think kind of. Yeah. I mean, what's like one of the biggest acts of love that the human is capable of? I honestly feel like me making the same video every day over and over and over, 1 hour of me keeping it real. I think that is like a different kind of algorithm exploitation, because it's almost like I'm saying, yo, what's up? Like, this is me. This is how I do it. I don't care if you grab my video and show it to the masses or not. But I am going to say that I'm never going to give up on you. It's like, I think that this video is great. I think that my voice is okay. I think that my topics are interesting. My flow is unique. I think that my experiences are something I want to share and something I think there's an audience for, right? And then it's like, what stands between me and this audience is this computer algorithm, you know? And I'm like, yo, if you just showed my video to more people, like if you just showed my video to as many people as you showed Mr. Beast's new video to, then I would find my community of 10,000, 20,000 people. But the algorithm, I don't think, works that way. The algorithm is more of like a fact-proven, numbers-based, like it's not just going to show me special treatment because I believe in myself, you know? It's like it's like I have to make stuff like Mr. Beast makes it, extremely enticing, incredibly engaging, and with numbers in mind, right? And it's like, well, I don't have the time, the budget, the equipment, the team for that. Interesting. Well, I do have more resources that I could give. I got more of my time, and I've got the ability to change what I do here. I could drop keeping it real. I could start, pushing out of myself moments and actions and changes that make these videos more engaging, that make these videos grab attention more. And I don't know, you think about that, and it's like, you don't know what to think, really. I think about this, and I think about like how through my like analytics and career, and like how I've noticed, what I was talking about earlier with, certain videos gaining traction. The videos that are pushed the most to the random people over the world, and to every random person that's pushed this video, there's a chance that, they might be someone that would like this. So you want it to be pushed. You want what's called impressions. You want as many impressions as you can possibly get. And to get impressions, you have to get impressions. So it's this really weird game you play with YouTube, because it's like, it's the same with money, It's like, to get rich, you have to get rich. Like, you can't make that $1 million deal without making lots of $100,000 deals. Like, it's this very strange ladder, like, it's almost like you climb a ladder and you remove sections from beneath you to continue placing sections above you. I don't know. It's like, to get views, you got to have views. And to have views, you got to get views. At least that's what I'm feeling like right now, Sometimes I just feel like, wow, this is really working. People keep on pressing the subscribe button. I get a nice comment here and there. My views are going up. I believe I'm far from burning out, as currently I am taking steps to improve. In between, me quitting this, I would probably stop improving first, and then there'd be a long stretch of me doing the same thing, and then I'd finally be like, fuck this. I don't want to improve. But then now it's like, every day I'm trying to be like, what's next? What's more, I don't think that. I don't know what I think. Pete and I are going to do a 3-hour episode. Can't wait. Haven't done one in so long, and I'm so honored that there's someone that is interested in doing something like that with me. So I just can't wait. Won't be this week, but then it'll be the next week. It's very exciting stuff. Very, very exciting stuff. Man, this stuff is hard, man. Like, you got to understand. If this is something that you want to do, you should start right now. Because it is really, really difficult. It took me a year to get to the point where now consistently around 5 people press subscribe every day. But do you know the truth? If that trend if I stop improving right now and I just stay consistently consistent, doing the same thing that I do today every single day, then projected, what's 5 times 365? Just 1,000. Just like 2,000. And then what's 2,000 times 10? 20,000. So after 10 years, only 20,000 subscribers. And it's like, but that's so much, you know? But then it's like, is it? I'm not sure it's necessarily enough to live off of. I'm not sure that many subscribers, you know, is going to translate to enough money to take this and become, you know, a YouTuber. I think if I was it's funny because I'm a bit I know that I'm wrong in my calculations. Last month we did like 150,000 views, and that's insane, right? And if you look that up on the internet, 150,000 views every month on YouTube, how much does that make you? I'm not partnered yet, but if I was partnered, how much would they pay me for that many views? And the answer is like $100 to $200 a month, and that is a huge deal. It would be a huge deal for me. It'd be an extra $50 every paycheck, you know? That would be like that. If I got partnered tomorrow and that paycheck came to me every month, I would seriously start to think about like, holy shit, this is real money. I'm making this money by doing this. I wonder how I could push this, how I could take this, you know, what does this look like if I take it even more seriously? But I know my calculations are wrong because those views are like 98% shorts, YouTube shorts. And I don't think the views are counted the same. I don't think they're counted the same at all. Actual videos, I think I get about 1,000, 2,000 views. Maybe just 1,000. I mean, maybe more like 500 or something. And that's like, you know, we're talking pitties. Pitties at $1, you know, like that's not very promising. You know, it's not very promising. You do something for a year and like you're still an intern, and you know that even if you weren't an intern, your work is worth only that much. But then you want to hold on and say like, oh, but you know, all those great jobs that people find such deep meaning in, they usually have to apprentice and intern in for long stretches of time. You know, like a generational mechanic who works on steam trains. You know, these guys you can find on YouTube. And I know that's kind of like a crossover. We're making an analogy here. YouTube is relevant in this particular instance. If you're interested in this kind of person, you can find them on YouTube. There's a couple people out there. And they have this wide and vast knowledge of old steam trains. And they fix them up. And they have a uniform that they go, and they somehow, they're getting paid to do this. You know, like through some weird medium, money finds their pockets, and they're able to profit from their in-depth knowledge of antique machines that no longer are produced anymore because, simply put, they're out of date. They don't go fast enough. They don't pull enough weight. You know, they're just relics. But here these guys are. These guys do exist. And they fix these steam trains. They wrench away on these steam trains. And they train people to do so. Young kids they take under their belt, and they help show them how to keep these steam locomotives alive for future generations. And you got to think, what was it like for these you know, zoom in on one of them. What was it like for this kid when he was learning all the things that he knows? When he was a teenager, you know, in his 20s, when he was doing his apprenticeship or his internship, I guess maybe you want to call it that. You know, he was probably shadowing someone that is much like how he is today and just soaking up all the information that he could, you know, with little to no pay, with little to no reward. Just sort of on the promise of one day he'd be able to fill the shoes of the man that came before him. And honestly, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that kind of vibe. Like, I don't have a like physical in real life mentor showing me the ropes, but like, dude, I do have all these amazing men that I've watched for a decade now on the internet, support families, build businesses, hire employees. And I think that I was always a YouTuber, even before I made my first video. It just so happened that on that day that I did make the video, like, it was a bit of a jump, right? But I think I've always been doing this. Just not, I didn't always have the camera rolling. I wasn't always posting things, but I was always thinking about this. I was always thinking about, like, how much this is what I really wanted to do. Like, I loved watching them. I loved watching them because I knew that I would love people to watch me. I swear, So yeah, I'm not making any money still. Not a penny has come my way. And, in a little bit less than a year when I am finally partnered, I'll probably just a couple pennies, It might be another 3 years before I get my first penny, actually, because I believe that YouTube, the way Google AdSense works, I saw this, the one thing that, like, they won't actually send the direct deposit unless it's over a certain threshold. And it's like $100 or something before, like, the direct deposit actually gets sent. And that could be 3-4 years before I make my first $100. But it's like, it's about the love of the game. And I love the game. I was trying to explain it to a friend that I had over, or a friend that was over staying at our place last night and the night before. We were on a walk, him and I. He makes music. He's a creative guy. A lot of people are creative. But I think that in today's world, what is truly rewarded in this space is just relentless consistency. I think like the bar for creativity now is so low. Like, everyone has these tools at their disposal. We all have ChatGPT. We all have free Photoshop online. This editing software, this audio software, it's all free. The gate to entry is so low. You don't need to spend that much money on equipment. Okay, you can get it all for under $100. Everything you'd need, and the quality will be just fine. And because of that, I think that I'm a part of this sort of new wave, where it's like, okay, because there's passion in moments, and there's passion in life, I guess. Like, I got a comment once that was like, I love how I can tell you're passionate. And, like, that's great, right? And in some of the videos that have done the best on my channel, I'm passionate in them. And that's great. Momentary passion, that's fantastic. I'm happy I could have caught it on camera, and I'm glad you enjoyed the video. But what I think is really what I'm working towards as, like, this apprentice, I guess, of this website is, like, mastery. And to master something, it's almost like this mythical beast that you have to slay. Like, picture yourself, right? You at home watching this video. And then think of any sort of activity, right? Maybe one that you don't really do. Golfing. Swimming. Drawing. Just something that, like, is an activity. You've done it before a couple times. It's fun to partake in. But it's not something that you do on the regular. And you're not exceptionally talented or gifted at it. Now picture yourself with this thing that you're thinking of mastered. Picture that you've mastered this thing. And then answer to me and yourself, I mean, what does that even look like? You know, it's kind of like you can't even describe it with words. Like golf. Okay, you've mastered golf. Can you really imagine what it's like if you mastered golf? I think it's like the true test of consciousness. Because yes, we are rational, and yes, we can think, and yes, we have thoughts. We're self-aware. We know how mirrors work. We even invented the iPhone. Hell, I even have an iPhone. It's amazing to be a conscious creature. Human beings are the apex predator. It's fantastic. But I swear there's this disconnect between you and like time. We understand everything, it seems, and everything's already understood. And if you let it, it can be very black and white, very simple, you know. But there's this disconnect. I swear there's this disconnect. When it comes to time and how time moves and how time passes, it doesn't seem to land so matter of fact. You know, it gets a little bit liquid, a little bit random, a little bit like hard to pin down. And so in an effort to, I don't know, just do anything, just not give up, not push it away, I found myself with the camera and the mic. And I think, what can time do for me? You know? Because I feel like before this, it's always like, what can I do for time? Right? And like, depending on whatever, it's always like I'm fighting the clock. And maybe now I'm trying to flip it. Like I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to ignore the clock, you know, and the clock can come find me if it wants. And it's funny because it's really hard to do that, you know, because I feel like you realize the clock doesn't give a shit about you. You know what I'm saying? Like you spend so much time trying to appeal to the clock and appease the clock. And now you're like, fuck this, dude. The clock did nothing but stress me out. Not stress me out, but the clock did nothing but like tell me lies. And like, I don't like where I am. And I want to change something. And now I'm going to say, forget the clock. You know? Like, today marks the day that I create my own clock. And I use time rather than serve time. So here's videos every day. You know, let's see what the numbers do. Let's be curious about potential. Let's put effort into this. And let's use time. How do we use time? I think time is a very hard thing to use. It's a very, very hard thing to use. It's very easy to say, I want to run an ultra marathon, an Ironman. But it's much, much harder to actually do it. Now, does that mean you shouldn't say it? Not at all. Not at all. Matter of fact, I would encourage you to just say it out loud to yourself right now. You know, don't even think. It doesn't have to be a blood-binding promise. It might be laughable how, you know, you think, you know you're never going to do it, but still, I would like you to say it out loud. I'd like you to be like, yo, I'm going to run an ultra marathon. And just mean it and see what happens in your brain. I had the idea I'd like to start walking to work. It's about an hour there, an hour back. I get a lot of like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And there's never like a right answer with anything, you know? Let me tell you what happened to me at work today. This gentleman came in, you know, he's sweating, very obese, rested his sweaty, disgusting hands on my meat case that I have to clean every day. Fucking piece of shit. He's like, let me catch my breath. And he's like, tells me to come closer. Like, let me tell you something. Like, bro, who do you think you are? Like, I already know where this is going to go. I ain't giving you free shit. And here comes the small violin. Here comes the sympathy story to save the day. He's like, my girlfriend just got arrested. It's just me and my daughter. You know, I'm just hungry. Can you make me something to eat, please? And he's looking at me with those fucking stupid eyes, dude. I know he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about me. You know? He's just trying his best to fucking manipulate me into doing what he wants. He don't give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't even care about himself. You know? If he cared about himself, then maybe he'd be able to see how dumb and pathetic he looked right now. Surprised he ever had a girlfriend. Not surprised that she went to jail. Surprised that he's not in jail. And nonetheless, I decide, you know, I don't actually know anything. All I know is what he's telling me. Let's, for the sake of why not, assume that he's just being dead honest, dead true. You know, he's just hungry. I've been hungry before. You know, we're all human. I haven't, not like that, but like, you know, I know what the sensation of hunger feels like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, dude. I used to work at Brugger's Bagels down there by the bell tower. They're closed. They dump all the bagels in the dumpster out back. They're probably not even stale yet. You can get some bagels. This motherfucker. I mean, I'm the motherfucker, you know? I'm not going to say I should have known better. I'm not going to tell myself I did the wrong thing by just trying to help somebody. But I am going to say that, like, I don't know. What am I supposed to say? Maybe, like, the moment... Maybe the instant that I saw him like the instant that I finished talking and told him that, and I saw him, like, you know, not immediately turn his body to walk out the door and, like, thank me, you know, because you'd think, like, oh, if someone's actually hungry like that, like really hungry, and someone told them where they might be able to find food, they would immediately go, almost like without even thanking that person. Like think about if you have to go to the bathroom. Like, these are bodily functions, and hunger falls under this category. Like, if you really have to pee, right, and you ask somebody, where is the nearest public bathroom? Please help me. And they just reach their finger out and they point. Or maybe even to get more, you know, to give you more of a similar situation, maybe you walk into a restaurant, you're like, please, I have to pee so bad. And the guy tells you, sorry, we don't have a bathroom. Or it's only for paying guests and you don't have any money. And you're like, fuck, I don't have any money. Can I please use the bathroom, please? And they're like, no, I can't let you use the bathroom if you don't pay. But if you walk down the street, you know, you can go somewhere that's got a bathroom. That person would immediately, maybe they'd be like, okay, down the street this way. And you said, yeah, then they go, you know? So the moment that guy sort of, like, stood his ground and, like, his facial expression kind of adjusted, and I got the sense that, like, he wasn't done with our interaction, you know, he wanted to carry it on, then that's, like, the moment I should have put my weight on my heels, twisted my toes toward the back of the restaurant, and walked away. Maybe even lock myself in the bathroom, you know? Because it was pride. It was pride that, you know, stuck me there and allowed my heart to start to beat fast while he started to say to me, you are telling me to go dig out of the trash? You want me to feed my daughter with food from the trash? And, you know, the whole time I'm telling myself that, like, I'm a bigger man and I'm a good man because, like, I'm not lashing out back at him and telling him to go fuck himself and get out of my restaurant. I'm just, you know, not saying anything and listening to what he has to say. But that's not being a better man, a good man. That's not, you know, that is the wrong thing for me to have done. I should have walked away immediately. I won't say there's anything wrong with offering help to somebody, okay? Because it's just, I don't know. He made me, and after the interaction, I was so angry that he got me worked up like that. I was so angry that he got me worked up like that. And I was saying all these really horrible things about him. You know, go, like, fuck that guy. You piece of shit. Scum of the earth. Pathetic. You know, saying things like, you know, you saw the way that my tongue moved when I said those things. Like, I'm really hurling those words into the air. Like, truly, I have true anger behind those words when I say them. And that should not be. That should not be. Because anger, it doesn't matter what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, you know, what you put out comes back, and I don't want anything to do with that guy. Anything to do. But my actions didn't say that, you know? My actions said, like, that I actually, you know, cared about our, you know, that I actually cared about, I don't know. Yeah, so in the wake of it, I remember saying, like, it's just so annoying that he's able to, like, get me worked up like that he can just manipulate my emotions into getting worked up. He can't do shit. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, that's like saying, you know, that's like doing something, breaking a vase maybe, or like, you know, whatever you want to say, you know, doing something wrong and then just totally like skirting the blame. Like the entirety of the blame for me getting worked up, you know, and feeling that like that is on me. It's on me. I mean, there is no reason why I found myself in that state other than me. I mean, you have things that, you know, you literally can't avoid, like an earthquake or a house fire, you know, like things that'll get your heart pumping and pounding. And like, that's the stuff that like your heart needs to pump and pound for. Some guy that like just is trying to get free food and like, you know, you never know. He might have a gun, or he might like, you have no idea, you know, how fucked up his day, his moment is, his head is, and in whatever time that you're coming and crossing paths with him. I mean, I've been really pissed before. And everyone's been really pissed. Dude, you're lying to me if you said you've never been like just really upset. And it's cool. You could be really upset. You can be really upset. You know, ain't nothing wrong with being really upset. You're going to get really upset. It's unavoidable. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe like I didn't actually do anything wrong and I just got really upset, and that just is what it is. Somebody else came in later, about 2 hours later, and looked at me, and he was like, yo, bro, can I clean the bathroom, take the trash out for some food? And I just shook my head no and walked away, and he left. But that guy was so much more direct. He didn't tell me anything about his fucking girlfriend going to prison and he needed to feed his daughter, you know? And he was actually skinny. He wasn't some sweaty, obese dude. Like maybe he was actually just fucking hungry, you know? And that's the moment where I feel like after that guy left and I said no to him, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel silly. Like I feel like, what the hell? Like I never seem to know the right thing to do. Like one guy I try to help and I feel stupid for doing it, and the next guy I treat like less than human. I say no when he just needs to get food, and I feel like a dick. Like it's just the nature. It's just the nature of the game, you know? You play, you do the best that you can do. And this is what I want to say, you know, I'm grateful that I get to play the game in the first place. If I didn't have this job, I wouldn't run into these scenarios, and I know that these scenarios sometimes like suck, and you know, I get upset, but like this kind of upset totally beats the kind of upset where I just feel like I keep fucking up, you know, days keep passing where I'm doing nothing. I'm not making any money, you know, I'm a bum. Like that upset is a worse kind of upset. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that guy. And I don't think he's pathetic. I don't think he's a scum. You know, I don't think anybody is like that. And I know I don't think that. And these things should never slip out of my mouth. Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask you something? Do you ever have something that's going on in your head that you know you don't want to be? Like I mentioned recently, and even today to Pete, that like some that I've been experimenting and exploring lately, not just like pushing myself to let out all my inner secrets and workings on the camera for keeping it real. Like just, you know, I'm very honest and open on here, right? But like sometimes lately I've been like there's certain things that I don't want to talk about. And it's funny because like, what if me intentionally not talking about them is making me think about there's no way to tell. It's just like, it's literally no different than the homeless person situation. Like you don't know what's right until after the fact, and you still don't really know what's right even when it's after the fact. You know, you just kind of have to wing it every single episode. Like every single episode, you just got to kind of wing it. And this episode, I'm winging it, and I'm still telling you, like, there is one thing that I'm thinking about that I'm, you know, not going to talk about. It's going to stay in my head. And I don't have a why for you, and I don't have a update for you. I can't tell you how it's going yet. You know, we're just going to have to wait and see. But that's cool. You know, that's cool. I'm just going to wait and see. Just like it was cool when I spoke about it. You know, it's all the same. It's not a big deal. Like, it's just is what it is. But pertaining to, yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. And see, like, I don't even want to talk about, like, you know, it's fine. It don't matter. It do not matter. It do not matter. Turn to a savage, pocket got fatter, she call me daddy. Smoking that gas, I'm like the fattest, she on the powder. Nowadays, I am on my head, I got Saturn. Hey, money got longer, speaker got louder, car got faster. Turn to a savage. Hey, Lil Uzi Vert. Fame and fortune. Fame and fortune. Fame and fortune. Fame and fortune. Yo, it's your boy Jack. It's your boy. It's your it's your boy. 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 So, you know, what's going on? Like, what is there to say? Oh, no, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I don't know. I do not know. I am very happy right now. And today and yesterday and probably tomorrow, I'm just, you know, I'm very happy. I feel like there's a lot of stuff waiting for me that, like, I'm just due to collect. And I feel like I like the pace that I'm going at and the things that I'm doing. And this little, like, life that I've got going for myself. I'm very happy. I'd be more happy if I was going to bed right now. Snuggle up in my covers like this. Although, you know, it's funny, like, before this YouTube thing and before I put all this plate stuff on my plate for me to do every single time that I wake up, before I go to bed every single time, I was kind of scared of going to bed. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you. Like, it's only when you are doing something that does not allow you to go to sleep that you truly appreciate the moment when you are allowed to fall asleep. I mean, I've been exploring with, like, I've been experimenting in my mind with, like, holding off on things as long as you possibly can. You know, those things in your life that, like, you think are inevitable, that, like, that you think are, I don't know, you know, good things, you know, good change, good progress, good improvement, that kind of stuff. And it's not like pushing it further back in the future. It's more like really trying to appreciate the now. You know, like, rather than, like, if you're in town with an old friend, you know, rather than just, like, saying bye after your last cup of coffee with them and turning and leaving, you push as long as you can. Like, whether it's the last minute you can leave before you might miss your flight, or, like, you know, after you guys hug goodbye, you and your bro, like, you know, give him a handshake and then hug again and then give him one more handshake, and just, like, appreciate the moment when it's just you and him, you know, because you're going to have to say, I don't know, just, like, if there is something that you have coming, whether it has a date or not, you know, whether it's like I'm graduating or it's like eventually I'm going to propose to this girl, you know, don't do it. You know, don't graduate, dude. I know it's going to come. All right. But, you know, dates are funny and time's weird. So don't graduate. All right. Don't try and get ahead. Don't try and, just because you know you're going to graduate, don't act like you already graduated. Because you didn't. All right. Act like you haven't graduated yet. You know? Act like you have, and even when you do graduate, hold on. Hold on to everything that you've ever known and loved before you graduated, after you graduated, for as long as you possibly can. Take as much with you into graduated life as you physically can. You got that girl in your life. It's been a couple years. You know, you've talked here and there about it. Maybe like her dad came and kind of cornered you at like a family gathering last year, and he was like, I just want you to know, I know you haven't asked yet, but you have my blessing. And you're like, damn, I didn't know that could go that way. I didn't know it could go that way. And it's like, you can feel it all around you. Like, it's time for you to go out and buy a ring and propose. You can go out and buy the ring. It's fine. But you don't, dude. Hold on. Hold on to everything. You know? You don't propose. Don't do it. You know? There's going to be a moment where, you know the worst proposals? The worst proposals are those ones that are planned. You know? Because it just seemed like, you have to push past it and know that it's still a good moment for him and her when you watch those planned videos and it's all staged. They have like this setup and 3 different people filming it and like whatever. But for some reason, it just, it doesn't look right on the camera. Like don't plan that shit. All right, you can have the ring, it's fine. But just don't propose. Don't propose. Do not propose. Don't propose until all of a sudden it's like you didn't even mean to, but like you're on one knee and the ring's in your hand and she said yes. Like, and once that happens, hang on still, man. Take as much as you possibly can with you from when you were not proposed. Like, take it like it's hundreds of $1,000s worth of cocaine and you're trying to get it over the border. Like, do your best to pull it through. It's about like life and time. Like we all just keep on walking towards death. It's freaky, dude. It's freaky. So like, I don't know. I feel like there ain't nothing wrong with fighting. Fight as long as you can, as hard as you can, until that moment when you finally just give up and you die. I ain't ready to die today. I ain't even close to ready. So every fucking day I try my best to, like, today is the day that I'm having a fucking day. And I live my day every damn day. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that all the way up until, all the way up until it's just I can't even do it anymore. And even when I can't do it anymore, I'm going to try and do it some more. I feel like people are so quick to like try to be quick. I don't know, man. It seems like everyone is just like so quick to be quick, and it's like, that's cool, I don't know, that's cool, but like, what you got going on? Like, what are you thinking about? What are you being quick for? I mean, I know I'm quick. I'm quick as it gets. I'm the fastest guy you might ever meet. I'm just saying a bunch of words. I don't know. Has any of this made any sense? This might be like totally over everyone's head. I'm not even sure that it makes sense to me, to be honest with you. It's very loose, but I'm digging the loose. Loose is good because loose allows you to make it tight. If you want it to be, you might not even be paying enough attention to realize that there's a difference between tight and loose. I was in Sup Dogs in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and they have a poster up about something about throwing a hot dog down a hallway in reference to a girl's vagina. Loose. And I was like, how is this hanging up in a chain restaurant? I found that very interesting. Very interesting. How is this hanging up in a chain restaurant? I couldn't believe it. Enjoy what you do and do what you enjoy. What's next for me? I don't know. I want to know what's next for you. You should be excited for this 3-hour episode. I might even upload it to this channel. Probably not. It's going to go live on the JackKadis show, which is a separate YouTube channel I have. It's got 4 subscribers. And it's going to be a good video. 3 hours long, a good solid intro, and I like it. I like 3 hours. You know, we might go over. Might do 4. You never know what you don't know what you don't know. I'm stoked about it. I got someone that wants to do that with me. You know how awesome that is? You know how much you got to appreciate that? I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, it's what it's all about. Why do you think I like this long stuff that's really long? Because it lets me sit here with the same thing and understand what it means to sit here with the same thing. You know, I don't know. It's like, what if we all did this every day? I feel like it'd be so good, you know? I feel like it'd be so great. There are so many people. I mean, let's talk about dating and being 21 and trying to pick a partner for life. Like, how crazy is that? We don't talk about it ever, but it's really crazy. It's really crazy to be conscious and still trying to mate. It is the craziest juxtaposition ever. On the one hand, you have the ability to think and ration. On the other hand, you have a penis and balls. How do you balance that? You know? How do you balance that? Well, when I think about this side... Oh, wait, sorry, that's penis ball side. Wait. This is the rationing side. When I think on the rationing side, I think like I would like a partner that is... I don't know. I would like to hold on to, like I was saying earlier, hold on to everything that I have right now without a partner, you know, i.e. like responsibility. It's raining. Is it raining? I'm so scared. My camera's out here. Well, it's okay. The episode's almost over. You know, wouldn't it be good for the logistical side of the whole thing, the whole mating, I want to stick my hee-haw in your hoo-ha process, if maybe any sort of girl that I ever thought I might be interested in had hours and hours of footage of her talking on camera every day? Wouldn't that be amazing? You know, at any point in time, if I ever was curious, no one would have to know. I wouldn't ever be putting myself vulnerable, you know. I'd just be one little number on a view count. No one would know. Nobody would know. I'd get to detach the part where I worry about what someone else might think of me while still obtaining valuable knowledge about this person. You know, what if I find out something that I think maybe we wouldn't get along? This is making no sense. This is making no sense. This is making no sense. And now the episode's over. Nonsense. And I'm wondering, can I fly my drone in the pouring rain? I don't know, but I'm still gonna try, because you can't give up, because it's just raining. You can't give up. This episode's over. You can't give up. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you have a good day. Bye.